The Border Management Authority has announced the closure of 3 entry ports to the country due to inclement weather conditions. For more on this, we're joined by Deputy Assistant Commissioner Mmemme Mogotsi. Ms. Mogotsi, a very good morning to you. Thanks very much for your time. Take us through this decision to close 3 border posts.
Good morning, Vuyo, and good morning to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. This morning, we realized that, the situation at our ports of entry, 3 of them that are affected due to the persistent snowfall, the conditions leading to those ports and in the port environment have become very risky. So we engaged our stakeholders, which some of them are the South African Police Service, the South African National Defence Force that we work with in the port environment, as well as our customs officials from SARS. We had to take a decision to close 3 of our ports of entries, which are Sunny Pass, Bushman's Neck, as well as Mononsa port of entry.
Now, what does this mean for people who need to come and go using those borders?
At this point, what it means is that the 3 ports of entries will not be operating. So due to this severe weather, we had to take precautions because we have to ensure the safety of our travelers, of our tourists, as well as of our officials that are operating in that environment, and to show that, we protect them. So the current conditions have become and posed a significant danger. So we have advised travelers to use the 4 alternative ports that we have communicated to them. The 4 ports have been proven to be, operating well, and they are not affected by the snow. So we issued communication to say that travelers who still want to enter Lesotho can utilize a fixed back port of entry, Caledon's port of entry, Makaleng, as well as Maseru Bridge, if they still want to access and travel to Lesotho.
Now, how would you describe the situation at those ports that you've closed? I'm sure, there will have been people who would not have gotten the message. How would you describe the situation there right now?
As we have highlighted, the road leading to the port itself it's submerged under snow. So at this point, even if they would approach the port of entry, they would realize that even the road leading closer to that port of entry would not allow them to travel and move closer to the port of entry. So we have put up notices and issued communication to say alternative ports of entries are available. We know that this is an inconvenience. That means, them traveling from that particular port of entry, which they were in close proximity to travel to alternative ports of entry. But what we're trying to do is implement our business continuity measures to ensure that our travelers are not stranded and they're able to access the member states in this regard, Lesotho, if they need to travel to that area.
So there are no people, as far as you're aware, who are stuck because they didn't know that you had taken this decision?
At this point, I'd confirm to you, Vuyo, that we don't have any traveler that is stuck that has approached the port of entry, because leading to that road as well, like I communicated, that leading to that road is still a challenge because the heavy snow that is now currently, when we did an assessment this morning, was at almost 0.5 meter. That is, in terms of the centimeters and the measurements. So at that point, it wouldn't even allow cars to approach that particular area. So at this point, we are working with various law enforcement authorities, which are the South African Police Service, the Defence Force, as well as emergency services, and SARS. They are also issuing out that communication to advise travelers and stakeholders that would need to pass through those ports of entries. So as we are taking these media platforms as well, we are hoping that everyone would hear the message to say, please do not come through the port of entries that are affected. And measuring the situation, we are also, predicting that tomorrow could probably also be the same situation due to the heavy snowfall that has affected the areas. So we will be issuing out communication tomorrow afternoon to advise further whether we will be operating in the coming days.
Quick one, Mmemme, before I let you go. Do you know if at some level the people are talking, there is coordination? I'm thinking here about, you have a role to play, so does the transport department, and so do many other departments. Do you know if there are conversations at some level about a coordinated strategy that takes into account the roles that you have to play respectively?
Yes, as you are aware that the port environment, it comprises of various stakeholders. So the coordination is there, the coordination has been there, and that is why we have a port management committee which comprises of the South African Police Service, comprises of the South African National Defence Force, as well as traffic management, SARS, the municipalities, so that we're able to address any situations that arise at any particular moment. At this point, we form part of the net joints, which is the security cluster committee that predicts and anticipates some of the challenges or crises that we might face. So the coordination is there from all levels, from national, from provincial, as well as local level. And the Border Management Authority is part of those structures. Hence, we have continuous meetings, and we are able to report on the various interceptions that we coordinate together. So the coordination on the ground, it is there, and intercommunication happens between the structures. So I wouldn't foresee any challenge or any other challenge in future, because we have a seamless working relationship with the structures on the ground. The port environment itself comprises of a number of stakeholders. So at this point, we are operating as unison with those stakeholders so that we are able to support one another and ensure that the operations are coordinated effectively.
Mmemme Mogotsi, thanks very much for your time.